Why do people quit Etsy? And you should too. Many artists think that Etsy is perfect for them to start their creative new brand and start selling through Etsy. It looks like a perfect idea. So it is easy to make your shop. No expenses unless you get orders. You don't need to figure out how it works because Etsy has everything already done for you. Website, checkout, payment, clients, testimonials, ads, keywords, etc. But there is a dark side of Etsy that no one sees and no one talks about. More and more creative people refuse to go to Etsy. And yes, it is a choice that you need to make. It belongs to you. It is your choice. But you need to decide at the end, do you want to create and sell and have your machine working for you, or do you want to work for Etsy to offer them more products to sell on their platform? So let me give you some examples of why people want to quit Etsy today, and they do it for different reasons, but I would like to go more into details and show you some examples. So let's dive in. So first of all, the reason number one is that you need to create more products. Sonia Mancher made a video a few weeks ago saying that she's quitting Etsy. One of the first things that she's highlighting is that it takes a lot of energy from her and requires her to come up with new products more and more. Because the more products she publishes, the more she gains in visibility. But it is also what is killing her because it is not what she wants to do. Just listen to her.
All the time, even if I didn't have the energy. And after deciding that I didn't want to actively continue this anymore, I noticed that even if January was the best month that I had, I think it had a lot to do with still having some kind of traction in Etsy. Like Etsy somehow noticed that I had a lot of products and there was a lot of new listings in January. But then once I gradually stopped doing so, or like stopped uploading any listings, I noticed that there was less people coming into my shop. So having an Etsy shop on its own without doing anything for it, I don't know if that's possible really.
So Etsy only puts in front shops that are active and putting new products on their shops. So it makes you work for them rather than being in control of your own business. After 2 years in business, Sonia realized that it was her working for her business rather than her business supporting her creativity and working for her. So she is not aligned anymore with what the algorithm requires from her to be successful on Etsy. The second point is you need to take care of your financials. For sure, you can just post your products on Etsy and wondering when your sales will come to you. But the reality is you need to be active and promote your products. So like any other online platform, you need to make ads and be competitive in your terms of pricing. If you don't take care of your financials, you can overspend on production and ads. And while your prices are competitive, you will be losing money. So like any other business, you need to manage as a business your Etsy shop if you want to sell your products. So here's what Johnny Port is saying about his financials on Etsy. And it is one of the reasons why he stopped doing Etsy. Johnny is saying that basically you need to take into consideration your production costs and then cost for listing on Etsy plus transaction fees. Considering that the competition is high, you cannot price too much your products. So the final profit in his case was less than $2 per t-shirt sold. Just listen to him.
When you're running your Etsy business, you need to take care of your cash liquidity. You spend some money on ads, on adding listings, on anything else. So you have to constantly get paid in order to keep all of it running. And when Etsy suspended my account, it was like, it was like a big break in my financials. Second, Etsy cost of selling product, because on Etsy it differs a lot from selling on most of print-on-demand websites. You have to set the exact price of your product and shipping. You have to take care of your product production price. So there is a lot of going on, and only when you start selling you see how many different amounts Etsy is taking to your own pocket. So I made an example for you. I used website Etsy Hand. This is not sponsored ad or anything. It was just like the first calculator that showed up in Google. So for example, if you are selling t-shirt and charging $15 for it, and then you have like $6 for shipping. And let's say your production cost of the t-shirt is $10, so Printful, which will be your supplier, or Printify, is gonna take $10 for producing your t-shirt, and the actual shipping cost is also the one we said, which is $6. So after doing simple math, you have $21 of revenue and $16 of total cost, which equals to, in theory, $5 of profit. In this case, these are the Etsy fees you'd have to pay. So there is a listing fee, which is at 20 cents. There is a transaction fee, which is almost $1.50. There is a payment processing fee, offsite ads fee. We are not using ads here, so let's not put it there. And totally Etsy fees are $2.50 almost. And beside that, you have to take into your consideration that there are a lot of sellers willing to offer much lower prices for their products. So I mean, they will be making, like, for example, 30 or 40 cents per t-shirt, and like that's why the competition is so hard to beat.
So yes, if you make money on Etsy as an artist and designer, you need to be clear in terms of expectations. And yes, if many of you think that having 20K or 30K a year is fair enough for your business, be mindful that you can really have good business of your own on your website, and if you have a marketing strategy, so you can do 10 times more than what you usually make on Etsy. So let's take another example of Winterwood Studio. She shows in her video why she left Etsy. So she made 70K during 7 years, and she decided to quit the platform regardless of the revenue she was making from the platform. During 7 years, she made around 70K. So basically she was making 10K-ish a year. So she says that she put all her eggs into Etsy, and it was a big mistake. In the year 2020, when Etsy became more competitive and costly, she saw her revenue go down because of the fees going up, more fees on the top of the main transaction fee, such as offsite ads fee. It's mandatory. If you make more than 10K a year, you cannot opt out from it. Then you need to offer free shipping. Otherwise, it's another transactional fee on shipping, or they don't reference you in search. So you can watch this video. She gives a lot of details on Etsy fees. I put the link to the video in the description box below. But let me give you an example of what she says. The actual numbers are, if you make, for instance, earrings, it takes you maybe 4 hours to make. The cost of material is around $15. You sell them for $50 because, marketplace is competitive, so you need to sell for attractive prices. So let's say your price is $50. So now let's look at the cost structure. So you have self-employment tax, $7. Then Etsy fees on $50 of selling price, it would be around $5. Then shipping fees around $3. Plus packaging around $2 or $3. Then you need shipping insurance, $1.50. Then you have the offsite ads. Again, for 10K store, you cannot opt out. So it's 20% of $50. So it's around $6. $50 the price, because you need to stay competitive, minus 15 for materials, 7 for taxes, 5 for fees, 3 for shipping, 2 for packaging, minus $1.50 for shipping insurance. You're already at $16.50 of profits for your 4-hour work. Then you add offsite ads. It's not something you control because Etsy imposes you to pay them later. If someone saw, for instance, their ad on the internet and then they bought your product, so they will count it in your expenses, and it's around $6, 20% from 50, right? So you have only $10.50 left. It's your profit. Now, divided by 4 hours of work, it's $2-ish per hour for your work. So the conclusion here, do your maths before you decide to go to Etsy. And the third point that I wanted to highlight is lack of control. Etsy is not a universal solution for sales. Many sellers are not satisfied with Etsy because the visibility for their work is low, the effort to promote your store is high, and the fees and hidden costs are rising. And you literally have low control over your marketing, branding, and promotion. Let's take an example of an offsite ads fee. You don't have control. And Etsy can impose you 15 or 20% of your revenue just because someone clicked on their ads and bought your product 1 month later. So you don't control anything. Also, you need to stay competitive on prices. And this is what Tim Coa explains very well in his video, Why is Everyone Quitting Etsy? So he says, more sellers, more competition, which drives down prices, kills profits, and kills businesses. The truth is, selling on Etsy is harder than ever. You need to think carefully about where you want to put your energy. Artists leave Etsy for many reasons. One of the strongest is the financial part, which is kind of out of control, right? And then competition is high and you need to be better in pricing than others. And then you need to make better products, different products, and more often, which is quite contradictory to what you should do instead. Slow fashion, quality products, higher prices, better branding, more demand, organic and paid growth. So the conclusion to this video, you need to have a brand and have a unique offer proposition. For instance, your brand, your fashion brand can offer bigger sizes in fashion, more personalized products, and a very unique style. So you need to build your own visibility on social media thanks to better content that speaks to your audience. Position your content with the right keywords, right hashtags, and then just look how the magic happens. People will see more of your content, and then if they see more of your content, they would love to buy at some point. And then you will need a place to sell where there is no noise or other competitors, right? So the best comparison that I can give you is, for instance, if you sell in your own private store or if you have a corner in a department store. Just think about all the distraction that people have in a commercial center or department stores. If it's not you, they will spend their money just near to you. So if you have your own store and you drive traffic to your store with your social media and controlled ads, you will get exclusive traffic for your business. And you can dictate your prices and explain well the story of the brand, and you can create relationships with your customers and upsell them on other products. So you can become one of the top brands for them, while on Etsy, they will just forget about you because you are one of many. So I hope you like this video, and if you want more information about Etsy and how to develop your own brand on the internet, I would definitely recommend watch my next video, Why Etsy Shouldn't Be Your Priority Number 1 in 2023, step-by-step guide for fashion designers. See you there.